Resident Evil 4 Remake is gonna be announced in early 2022. Yes, you heard it correctly. Well, I guess Resident Evil 4 Remake had the biggest leaks among Resident Evil games. We have had 3 or 4 waves of leaks so far, like these pictures and also the leaks that I've been covering on the channel. But I feel like these new leaks are actually the most accurate, and I will tell you in a second why. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. So firstly, a huge portion of the game is going to be happening in the night. Well, for example, Resident Evil 4, the original version, starts in daylight in the village and everything looks normal and okay. But turning everything pitch black and starting the game at night, well, I'm a big fan of it. I think it's gonna be way darker. So let's move on. It's gonna be scarier and it's gonna be inspired by the beta version. Well, we all know Resident Evil 4 Hookman version and the Silent Hill / old Resident Evil type vibe of it. I personally think being inspired by that version of the game will lead the Resident Evil 4 remake to being way more scary. I mean, imagine the hallucinations of Leon and turning into different worlds. I mean, like Silent Hill thing. I think it's gonna be something like the House Beneviento in Resident Evil Village, where the dolls were moving, and it was probably the scariest part of Resident Evil Village, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm a big fan of that too. Side characters are gonna have bigger roles. Well, Resident Evil 4 had a bunch of characters that deserved more backstory, like Luis, Mike the Pilot, Krauser, maybe even Merchant and Doc Salvador. So giving them more backstory not only makes the game longer, which I'm a big fan of, but way more interesting. So Ada's campaign is going to be expanded as well. Well, in Resident Evil 4 we had these DLCs of Ada, the Separate Ways and Assignment Ada. Both were cool and entertaining, and now they are trying to rework it and make it one expanded DLC, which explains what Ada was up to when Leon was saving Ashley. And that's a cool idea because, you know, Assignment Ada was not a plot thing at all, but trying to rework these DLCs and making them even longer actually makes me interesting. And now, the release date is also mentioned. Not exactly, but fair enough. Well, I gotta tell you before these are not officially confirmed by Capcom or whatever, but it says that Resident Evil 4 Remake is gonna be announced in early 2022. We are now in 2022. We were actually expecting the reveal trailers to be announced in early 2023, but the leaks are saying that it's going to be revealed in early 2022. Well, to be honest, that's actually giving me goosebumps, and I'm so excited for it. So the report also mentions that Wesker's concept art was not from Resident Evil 4. I've covered Outrage on my channel, and I guess that could be, you know, from the Outrage cancelled game, which was mainly about Rebbeca. So I guess it must have been from that game. And finally, Shinji Mikami is also not working on this, and I personally don't know how to feel about it. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see how the game will turn out. So let me say why I think these are true. Well, these studios, the same studio who were working on Resident Evil 7, 8, and 2 Remake. So we all know that developers of Resident Evil 3 Remake were working on Resident Evil 4 Remake, and they were changed to M2, the developers of the games that I mentioned earlier. So since Resident Evil 2 Remake was a reimagination of the original version, I think this is gonna be well designed. In Resident Evil 2 Remake, Raccoon City and the RPD were changed, but not in a bad way, actually in a very believable way. So you can now guess what I'm saying. The village section happening at night makes even more sense and also makes it more scary. I mean, Resident Evil 4's night section wasn't dark enough at all. I mean, it was still bright, but now imagine Resident Evil 2 Remake's dark corridors happening in the village. Not gonna lie, it's actually so interesting for me. Anyway, these were the unofficial news of Resident Evil 4. What do you think about these leaks? Do they make sense to you? Make sure to comment down your ideas down below in the comments section, and we'll definitely talk about it. And if you have enjoyed this video so far, please make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because I'm gonna be covering Resident Evil 4 on this channel. And so far, the support has been great, and you would easily make my day if you could consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching.